someone who has a substance use disorder, as well as consistent behaviors for someone who's a perpetrator of intimate partner violence.
All right, so let's break down some questions. We're already starting right now. I'm joined right now by Anjanette Levy, who was live in that courtroom today and provided us quite the story about a woman picking up her baby and saying in the middle of open court, "Johnny, this is your baby." We found out later it was not his baby, thank goodness. But we're also here with Dina Dahl, who's of course been fantastic with our Q&A sessions. So Anjanette, I will go first to you.
Oh my gosh.
This is an interesting
It's
question.
unstable again.
This is from Kaylee from Ness from Facebook. Kaylee Ness says, "Can you explain what the time limits mean?"
They're going to have to maybe tighten it up if they want to get more in and get more out of their witnesses. So it's really interesting, and they're going to just have to, I think they're going to have to tighten it up. Some of their stuff goes really long, and now they're going to be, after lunch, call Johnny Depp to the stand. We know having Johnny Depp on the stand is not a quick thing. So they're going to have to speed it up and thing. And we know having Johnny Depp on the stand is not a quick thing. So having Johnny Depp on the stand is not a
Okay. Let's get our chat bot in here. Okay. Let's get our chat bot in here. Okay. Interesting. It's just so bad today. So choppy. Like I was at it's just bad.
I don't think that's correct. So he'll be what's considered an adverse witness. So it did burn their clock up quite a bit.
Stream elements.
That's why you have to be strategic in your cross-examination in this case in particular. Again, we're taking more of your questions. I want to actually go back to Dr. David Spiegel, the psychiatrist who testified on behalf of Amber Heard. If you haven't seen some of his testimony, it was quite colorful. Take a look.
Has Mr. Depp suggested, based on your review of the record evidence, that alcohol and drugs actually help him?
In review of the evidence, he has suggested that alcohol, Xanax, I'm in the list of medications, do help. Although I will also tell you on review of the evidence that there were at least 2 times I can remember that Mr. Depp was referring to at least short-lived periods of sobriety, and I cannot exactly tell you what that included. That both times he said that he functioned better and that he recognized that alcohol and drugs was at the root of his problems.
Again, this today is really just about dirtying up Johnny Depp and showing that what Amber Heard accused him of, she's having corroborating witnesses. All right, so let me go to you, Karen. Unwired Emmy from YouTube says, if Amber Heard wins, will she have to legally hand over the $7 million? I think that's in reference to
now we're green. Now we're green.
Money she promised to donate to
the
ACLU
man.
and other kinds of charities. I think I'm reading that correctly.
Oh, now we're red.
What do you think about that?
It's just up and down.
That's a great question because we've heard testimony about
Yellow,
that.
green,
but that was with regard to
red,
their
orange.
dissolution, their divorce. That was the agreement. The settlement agreement was that Johnny
It's in
Depp would pay her
720p.
the $7 million, and so
not
the
as
issue was
nice. The
$3.5
bit
million
rate's
going to go
lower.
to Children's Hospital and $3.5
Bit rate's
going to
lower,
the
but at least I can
ACLU.
interact,
And
maybe.
so even though that's been raised as an issue in this trial, that is not the determinative.
What do you think? I want to do 1080p at 60, but I guess that's way too much.
Were asking about that. And on cross-examination,
I don't know. We'll do 720 at 60. I guess it's better.
And a pledge. And so for her,
I don't know.
those 2 things are the same, but in reality,
Yeah.
they're not. She has not donated.
It's not as clean. I guess I'll just have to record like segments or something. So because for clips.
Even though she made that promise.
I've been just relying on the stream, but
it doesn't have anything to do with whether Johnny succeeds in his claim or Amber succeeds in
Alright, so that's pretty much over. By the point it started getting all choppy, it pretty much ended. All we saw was that guy, like, we just saw the guy fighting and with the lawyer and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird, dude. It was weird. It was weird. And I gotta upload my I'm Smarter Than XQC video later. I don't know. Should I make that video? Should I upload it today or should I have it I should probably upload it today, huh? Yeah. Have it scheduled for tomorrow or something. That's what it should probably be for. Anyway. Yeah, like it goes green, it goes orange, red, and it goes green. And so, see, it's like red again, orange. It's up and down. Someone said to go down to 2,000. Someone said go down to 720. Actually, no, they did. They did 720 at 30. I don't know. I can't do 30. I'm at 60. Whatever. 720, and they said I was doing 6,000 kilobytes per second. And they said you need to go down to 2,000. I'm like, all right, fine. Like dude, I want HD. You know what I'm saying? I want HD. 1080p, 60 frames, clean. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's fine, I guess. This is fine. I mean, it's all I can do. You know, I can't do anything else. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't got money. You know, I'm not rich. No. This isn't a job yet. This is just like this is. I mean, I want it to be, but it's a hobby right now, and it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I like it. I do. I like it for free. I might as well upload now because, I mean, uploads shit anyway. Yeah, it's just no, but I know, but I want it to be consistent. You know, you need to be reliable. You know, it's like, it's kind of like I'm I don't know. It's just whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. I love this. I love this, but it's not, man. I guess I'm going to be that much happier when I actually have a place I can be, you know, my own place I can be that has just fast internet where I can actually do this. It's like, wow, guys, I can actually stream in 1080p. Isn't that crazy? And everyone's like, we've been able to do that forever. I'm like, I know, but I never was able to. I was never able to do that, and now I can. I'm gonna be that much happier. But right now, whatever. This is a lighter load anyway. This is good. Lighter load. It's a lighter load on the net, so maybe it's a good thing. I keep seeing it go red. It goes green, red, orange, green, red, orange, red. It's red right now. I don't know, man. Let me know if it's choppy. I think, you know, if it gets choppy, it gets choppy. Actually, I'll just check right now and see if it is, because it should be, if it's red with the 1080, it would not work, but red with the 2000, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Let's check. Okay, not that one. It's red, so let's check. You know what? It seems kind of... Hello, hello, hello. Wave, wave, wave. It seems alright. Seems okay. Seems alright. I think it looks fine right now. I think it's not, because it's not chopping up. It's not chopping up. So I think we're gonna have to stick with the 720. We're gonna have to stick with that at 2000. It's not perfect. It's not HD, but I think it's enough because I can actually interact. So that's, you know, I guess if I have to go all the way down to like pixel, where you guys are looking at a 8-bit version of myself. Hello, everybody. It's like a weird voice and everything. It's like all robotic, static. Everything's all going crazy. My image is like, hey, everybody. Hi, how's it going? Hey, everybody. Is this weird? Is my mouth not catching? Is the voice catching up to my mouth? You know, it's gonna be like that. Annoying. All right. What is this countdown? It's a bomb. It's the time until the smackdown between that psychiatrist, whatever he was, and the lawyer. By the way, the lawyer, people are gonna talk shit. They're gonna always talk highly of Johnny Depp's team, and they're gonna always talk crap about Amber Heard's team. I have to say though, that guy, even though he was kind of, it just didn't matter what he said. Honestly, it was probably the best. Like, that was the best shot they had out of everybody. It was like a really desperate attempt, honestly, but it was the best thing they had so far. And on the other side, but you know, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. And the lawyer, Johnny Depp's lawyer, the guy who was asking questions, he was super nervous, man. He was crazy. He was like, yeah, well, even though, you know, he had good questions, you know, he was just really nervous. But yeah, this guy was like snapping. He didn't know, he was not in a he didn't handle it very professionally. The Amber Heard's person, he kind of flipped out. He kind of flipped out a little bit. Didn't look good. But not the fact that he did that. It was the evidence just didn't look good. Didn't look good. Didn't look good, man. Just didn't look good. What's this about?
Lunch break right now in the Johnny Depp
it's a lunch break
trial. As soon as it starts up again, right behind me in the Fairfax County Courthouse, we will jump live. But right now in our lunch break, we are taking.
So chat. Let's see what chat has to say.
If you're on YouTube or
let's check the chat.
Twitter or Facebook on our network.
Both the medical and the psychiatric expert have based their views on what was presented to them, but neither actually evaluated anything firsthand.
One question, Karen. I'm going to throw it to you. I said this.
Amber's bruised kit. Amber sucks. Vomit.
TTBA 1878. This is a very big picture question. Do you
Please get
think
this
case has strengthened or damaged the defamation court process?
Good question.
Wow, that is a great question. I think that it probably has put a light on it. I don't think that most people in the general public have even focused on defamation. So I think that in a good way that we're now aware, the public is aware that these type of lawsuits exist. So I think in that sense, it's a good thing. The bad part is it's muddied by the whole allegations of domestic violence, because now we have to focus on whether or not, from a criminal perspective, that these things happen. So I think that from two ways. One, yes, we're now aware that there is such a thing as defamation and how hard it is to prove. And on the other hand, we're coming to light the fact that actually men can suffer from domestic or be victims of domestic violence as well, if you believe Johnny Depp's team. So I think that overall.
Hey, let me check how the quality is on here, just to be. I
think that overall.
Hey, let me check how the quality is on here, just to be. It seems okay. Yeah, it seems alright. It's not bad. Yeah, it's okay. It's great. It works, right? The stream works. That's what matters. I'm curious. I'm gonna test something right now. So I'm gonna hit record on this guy. I'm just gonna hit record and say, hey, we're just recording. Oh, the internet. There we go. It's a little dip again. I'm just testing a little bit, see if what it looks like. So I'm gonna check that recording. I'm just testing a little bit, see if my God, it looks so much better in 1080p, man. Yep. So the recording is at 1080p at 60. That's good. That's actually really good. The stream is not. The stream's at 720. What am I gonna do? You know, really, I can't do anything about it right now. Opinion. Right there, the camera. Oh yeah. Opinions on her though? Let's be real. My opinion. What's my opinion? Batshit crazy. She's insane. She's out of her mind. She is actually crazy though, man. All right, Choppy stream. Actually, we're gonna change the title because this stream is a little bit I'm gonna do this. Save. I'll cancel. We're gonna be doing whatever the heck we're doing, you know? We just do whatever we do. This
Because you know what? Here's the thing, Dina. The cross-examination that we've been seeing of Dr. Spiegel's, I mean, it's something to watch. And we
gonna
have
play
a
some
question
Mobile
here
Legends,
from
I
Twitter,
think.
from @Calibrowski. Do we think that maybe Dr. Spiegel was put on the stand to fluster Depp's side? I can't seem to find a good reason as to why to put him up there if he never actually gave an evaluation of Johnny.
Well, you know, he was meant to give his expert opinion, which he was right, that kind of thing happens a lot in these cases. And I do think that what he said in his direct probably was helpful to Amber Heard. He was trying to make this connection between substance abuse and physical abuse, but he was just so bad on cross-examination that, you know, I think the jury would probably throw out pretty much everything he said there. I also thought, though, about the clock, because the Johnny Depp team really took a lot of time cross-examining him, and I think they only did that because they know how much more time they really have than Amber Heard. They had that leeway because probably after the first few questions, they had pretty much already, I thought, destroyed his direct. They probably could have just finished then.
You know, it was interesting during the cross-examination. There was one point
wrong.
again, as I
Not
said,
wrong.
Dr. Spiegel said, "Isn't Marlon Brando dead?" Johnny Depp actually put his hand.
Ooh,
in
the
his,
coffee. You better believe it. The
face in his
coffee's
hands,
boosting
like, oh
me
my
right
gosh, I
now.
can't
Woo!
believe what's
You better believe it.
happening here.
Ooh, I'm
We
getting
have a
boosted.
question,
I'm getting boosted here.
For Dina, actually for
I'm in the
Karen,
booster seat.
from
I'm getting
Mal.
boosted.
This is from YouTube. It's
Boosted.
on the surgeon that we mentioned that who testified earlier, Dr.
Yo,
Moore.
chat,
Would
should
the
we
fact
play-
that
should we
Johnny
gamba?
wrote with
Should we
his finger
gamba?
in blood after the incident affect the look
Should
of
we
the
gamba?
injury and
Yo,
therefore
chat, should we
affect
gamba?
Dr. Moore's analysis? Remember, Dr. Moore, as he just said,
No,
he
really.
doesn't believe that this was caused by a vodka bottle being thrown at Johnny Depp's hand. Now, he couldn't actually say what caused the injury, but he said clearly it's not.
All right,
from
I'm getting rid of
a
the
vodka
chat.
bottle.
See
What do you
ya.
think about that, though?
See
Because
ya.
He was able to write with his finger.
That's a great question, and so that was a.
All right, there's a bunch of stuff we can do. I'm gonna leave this a little bit quiet. We could play. We could do Roblox, which I'm okay with that. Roblox, mobile games, which I have a few I want to do, and I need to check on. Actually, I do need to check on my Clash. Even though I hate that game, I'm playing Clash Royale and get that because maybe I'll end up liking it if I end up winning. It's just a pay-to-win thing anyway. Need more cards. Or we could play the roller coaster. We can get some more roller coasters going in Planet Coaster.
So I do think that he was a much better witness than Dr. Spiegel, for example.
Can't do Tariba, although I could sign up. I could sign up for Tariba and we could try to win some Japanese prizes. And if we win it, I'll pay for the shipping. We get the prize here, and we'll.
It gave some questions for the jury.
Yeah. We'll have a prize.
This was really how it happened. Was it
That'd be cool.
Or was it the throwing of the vodka bottle? So I do think that was it effective for Amber's
I don't
team?
know.
I think it was.
Anyway, let me know, chat. Let me know,
A lot of
chat.
people have questions about this surgeon, by the way, as the first witness of the day. Dina, we heard from Charlotte C. from YouTube. Why did none of the lawyers ask the surgeon what he thought of Amber Heard's version of Johnny Depp's severed finger? The fact that it was with a phone. Thanks a lot for the great Q&A. Well, you're welcome for the great Q&A. But I guess, you know, that's an interesting point. I mean,
All right, I'm going to upload that video, though. I'm going to upload the video.
Yeah, that is a really good
Let's get
question.
that up.
Sometimes lawyers don't ask questions that
I mean, we got a
they know
decent
the
thing. It's not
answer
going
to, right?
It's whatever, you know.
Whether or not
It's whatever.
maybe Amber Heard's attorney didn't want him to say that it also.
Wait, I need to move this up
he couldn't
here.
say
That's where it needs to
whether or
be.
not
There we
it was
go.
a phone,
That's where we
which
want
would
it.
have made his testimony like even more vague, right? Like he couldn't back up what Amber Heard said either.
Maybe
and
not.
so
I don't know.
that's possibly. And then also
Tick.
Johnny Depp's attorneys probably didn't
Bop,
want to
bop.
ask
There we
him
go.
that
That's
because
the
they didn't want him to say, well,
square.
sure, it's
Little.
possible that it
Da-da,
was phone.
that. It's
So my guess is, you know, it's
I'm
that
done.
they
What?
were a little bit uncertain
five.
that he was going to probably not be able to say one way or the other it was going to be the phone, which could have actually
Whatever.
hurt both
The
of them.
triangle, but two. Gotta be
Did he
E.
cut himself? Was a vodka bottle thrown? It's still kind of up in the air, and how much, whatever the jury comes back with on that, it's not one of the core substantive issues. It just lends into Johnny Depp's argument that he was the victim in this relationship and not the abuser. These are great questions. Please keep them coming. We want to keep answering them. We'll play a little bit more of Dr. Richard Moore, this orthopedic surgeon. This is him being cross-examined by Depp's side.
Have you ever seen this picture before, Dr. Moore?
No.
So you're not aware that this is the bar area where Mr. King testified he found Mr. Depp's finger?
No.
Do you see that broken vodka bottle in the back corner near the bottom of the bar?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the blood drops on the floor?
Yes.
Can we please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1820, which is already in evidence? Have you seen this picture before, Dr. Moore?
I have not.
So you're not aware that this is also a picture from the bar area where Mr. King testified he found Mr. Depp's finger?
Correct.
Do you see the bloody tissue on the ground at the bottom of the bar?
Yes.
Do you see the blood drops around that tissue?
Yes.
So you didn't consider any of this evidence in rendering your opinion about how Mr. Depp injured his finger in Australia, did you?
I did not.
That's a good point. That was a good cross-examination point right there, what to really take away from it. Okay, so Anjanette, big picture again. I'm not going to, it's another time question. It's a little different, though. It's a little different. This is from Waleska LeBron on YouTube. How much time will the jury have after Friday? So, again, I think what the question is suggesting is after closing arguments, once they go into deliberations, how long will they have?
All right, we're going to do this.
Well, I think that
Let me
that's
just get a little
probably going to
recording.
be up to the jury.
I'm going to record this really
each side
quick.
gets 2 hours for their closing. Plus, think about it.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to mute for a second. Let me just mute this. My video. Alrighty. We're doing what we're doing. Alright. Stream is kind of back. Whatever. We do our stream, we do our thing. It's not a big deal. Alright, let's go with our... Wait, what? Is it not gonna load? Come on. Come on, little doggy. 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 Come on, little dude. Anyway, live stream clip. I'm gonna do this. I think this is correct. Oh wait, no, it's not here. It's actually gonna be here. Videos, OBS, recordings, and we go down. I'm gonna go here, right here, that. We're gonna go audio. Hey, calm down. We're gonna go window. We're gonna go audio. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go to this. Hard limiter to -6. Hard limiter -6. Like that. Gonna go effects, and we're just gonna go do our thing. Wait, what? Effect controls. Come on now. Effect controls. Come on, there's gotta be a fart sound somewhere, right? A fart sound effect? There you go. Alright, we're gonna export this. This is actually funny. Hold on one second. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah. Okay, what am I doing? Of course. Media. Bop, 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 bop. Editing, guys. I'm editing. This stream is very boring, but I'm editing right now. This is very boring, but I'm editing right now. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Yaw. Sound normalization. Export. Yes. Okay, and then for this, actually, do we have some like YouTube music, YouTube audio library? Do we have that? YouTube audio library piano? Does that exist? Let's check it out. That might be a better way to go. Let's go audio. Oh, this one's all the way left. You know what? Okay. You know what? This one's kind of like a trick. It's a trick because you can see if you do sideways 2 lines, you get a hat. I get like this weird kind of, I don't know. It's like a whatever it is. But this is this way. It's basically that, but now it's flipped this way, basically, right? I think that's what that is. So go this way. Swear. Wow. What the heck is this one? Okay. Okay. So it's gonna be 4 dots. We already know that because there's 3 of everything else. 4 dots on the outside. So it's either A or F. On the inside, however, what is new? Possibly. So we have square, so circle and diamond. We have a cross hatch with the diamond and circle, which means we just don't have the diamond with the dots. So A. That is gonna be that. Oh, okay. This one's like a deletion one too, I think, because this is this one. I can just see how like when you have this thing, and it goes like this. See how this one adds? This one's adding because there's nothing there. This is, look at this right here. It's touching that, so it gets removed. The cross. Don't know what the heck's going on here. Okay, triangle. Okay, that. All right, triangle. We have a triangle black. We have a white black circle. Which tuck, and it's gonna be a left big. Dot. What? Oh my god, guys, this is pathetic. I don't know any of this. I don't know what this is. What? Okay. Nah, it ain't real. This is silly. This is goofy. It's goofy. It's goofy. Alright. Take a break. Boom! Okay. Nah. It ain't real. This is silly. This is goofy. It's goofy. It's goofy. Viper, right. What's up, man? Let's take a break. I'm just editing, Boom! I'm editing videos, so yeah, we're gonna get into, let's see, I think the court's back going on. I had to lower the resolution. On this thing, man. Can't believe it. I can't believe it. Anyway. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do this. Normalization. Export. Alright. Let's see if we got the court thing still going on, I think. Pretty sure it is, anyway. Let's find out. Yeah. Live.
Objection. All right.
Yes, it's back, apparently.
Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding of it.
Okay. Now, when counsel for Mr. Depp was reading to you the Goldwater rule, there were two words that he kind of went over pretty quickly, and I'm going to go over them again with you a little bit slower. And that was that the Goldwater rule was that you cannot make an armchair diagnosis, right?
Objection.
Based on, quote,
Okay.
publicly available records. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the records that you reviewed in this case were private, were they not?
Yes.
And in fact, Dr. Blaustein's records were marked confidential, correct?
Yes.
And
this is
his
looking better.
deposition was marked confidential?
Yes.
Okay. And Dr. Kipper's records were all marked confidential?
Yes.
Objection leading.
And
I'll sustain.
okay, what if any labeling was there on Dr. Kipper's deposition?
All the documents I reviewed were confidential, and I also signed a confidentiality agreement, so everything I looked at was confidential.
Okay, so that in fact does not even comport, that doesn't meet the restrictions that we put.
Objection leading.
I mean, so would it be fair to say that you have not, or have you rendered any opinions in this case as an expert witness based on publicly available records?
I have not rendered any opinion based on any publicly available records.
Thank you. Now, you were asked a number of questions about narcissistic traits and your diagnosis or findings that Mr. Depp exhibited narcissistic traits or had that disorder. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
All right.
Alrighty.
And the question was asked of you of the whether if you have 5 of 9 narcissistic traits. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the ones you testified before was for narcissism, it requires admiration, correct?
Yes.
What, if any, record evidence was there that Mr. Depp requires admiration?
The very people that surround him need to admire him, or they're no longer in his employment or his working circle.
Okay. The second one that you discussed was sense of entitlement. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
All right. What record evidence is there that Mr. Depp exhibits behavior of needing a sense of entitlement?
So again, thinking that Ms. Heard was marrying him solely for his money and his influence, and that was the case, was, in my opinion, very entitled.
Yeah, we're still watching.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
And the third one you discussed was exploitative. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the record evidence that Mr. Depp exhibits behaviors that are exploitative?
Again, I think the whole concept of abuse is exploitative.
Okay. The fourth one was lacks empathy. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And what is the record evidence that Mr. Depp exhibits lacking empathy?
To be able to commit intimate partner violence and the control you have over someone.
I'm sorry?
Can I be heard?
Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to ask you to give the record evidence of Mr. Depp's lacking empathy that you know of.
Yes. Am I allowed to elaborate?
Yes,
Okay.
just a little different than what you said before.
Okay. So if one does, so I'll make it more direct. So if you're not agreeing with what Mr. Depp has to say, you are no longer useful. Okay, therefore, you don't really care about others for others. You care about others for your benefit. So off and on dismissing Dr. Kipper, for Dr. Kipper setting some boundaries on substance use protocol, substance detox, is an example of lacking empathy and not really caring what other people have to say.
All right. Another one of the characteristics that you cited was envious. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
What is the record evidence that Mr. Depp exhibits envy?
I think jealousy is a good start for that. I think that Ms. Heard wanting to have a career, start with that, beyond what she has, and the jealousy parts of with Mr. Franco and I think others comment this week. Last week Ms. Burston commented about things about jealousy. So I think it's pretty apparent.
Okay. And the next one you listed was fragile self-esteem. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
And what is the record evidence of Mr. Depp exhibiting that?
So fragile self-esteem would be more along the line of a cluster B trait. I should put that in. It's not necessarily the criteria for narcissism, so it's a trait. And basically what that means will be that the combination of poor self-control and rapid mood states is fragile self-esteem, fragile personality. So it would go in the line of cluster B rather than per se narcissistic.
All right. Now, we've seen Mr. Depp during this trial doodling and eating candy. What, if any, evidence would that suggest that he has narcissistic traits?
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Wow. Really?
Now, you were asked
He has candy. He must be a
about
narcissist.
the
Like,
cluster
come on.
B, and
Come on, man.
counsel for Mr. Depp came back and said, are you aware Ms. Heard has been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder? Now, you reviewed, I think you testified at the beginning, you reviewed the therapy and counseling and medical records for Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct.
What, if any, evidence was there that Bonnie Jacobs diagnosed Amber Heard with either borderline personality or a histrionic personality disorder?
Objection, Your Honor.
That's fair cross. He asked the question. That's fair. Redirect.
It's beyond the scope.
It's not
Overruled.
Thank you.
So if I could start, Ms. Jacobs demonstrated no type of personality disorder, borderline or otherwise. And on a review of Dr. Currien's records.
Objection beyond the scope of the question.
I'll ask each of them separately. And you also reviewed the therapy records for Ms. Heard for Colonel Cowan, correct?
Yes.
What, if any, evidence was there at any time that he diagnosed Amber Heard with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder?
Not only did he not, he referred to Mr. Depp as a narcissist.
Okay. Now, you also reviewed all of Don Hughes' records and her testing, correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, evidence did you find in any of that extensive testing and note-taking that she had found that Amber Heard had borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder?
Objection leading.
What, if any?
Overruled.
None.
Okay. And you also reviewed Dr. Curry's notes and her testing, correct?
Yes.
All right. And what, if any, evidence did you find in any of Dr. Curry's testing that Amber Heard had either borderline personality disorder or histrionic
Wow,
personality
dude.
disorder?
Nice.
She had traits she did not meet the full, on her own evaluation, she did not have the full endorse enough criteria
Oh,
to
yeah,
meet the
yeah.
criteria for borderline personality
Yeah, the
disorder.
dungeon items and the
Or histrionic
hunting
personality disorder.
logs.
She definitely had traits.
Very
She
nice.
did not have the disorder by going by the strict number of criteria.
All right. Now, you mentioned in response to Mr. Depp's counsel's questions, you started to talk about battered wife syndrome. What is your experience with battered wife syndrome sometimes being mistaken with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder?
Objection compound and leading.
Overruled.
So battered wife syndrome, which is more subsyndromal or not quite PTSD, has many symptoms of PTSD, and from here some of them you'll see.
It
why
would
people
Chris
might think
Talbot.
that.
It would never.
They do
You know
have
what? I want
reliving
Chris Talbot in the
experiences
stream
and feelings
every
of
time.
The abuse is happening.
It would
even
not
if it's
be a
not
stream.
upon reminders.
It would-
Upon reminders of abuse, such as getting ready to use.
It would
something
not
or
be a
use
stream
substance
without
or
Chris
something along
Talbot
the
coming
line.
in here.
They do have
God bless you,
hyperarousal,
Chris
they do
Talbot.
have hypervigilance, which is very easily mistaken for the emotional reactivity of
Every-
borderline personality disorder. They do have avoidance symptoms, so they avoid emotions, activities, people, and if that can't be happening, they start becoming
This
much
is
more
funny.
anxious, much more hyper-aroused. They have
I think it's a bot.
disturbances in relationships,
Like a literal bot.
which clearly can be an issue. Intimacy problems, again, which could also resemble borderline personality disorder. So those description and traits that were there, A, did not meet the full criteria for borderline, and B, could readily easily be explained by a battered wife syndrome, a form of PTSD.
Thank you. Now, you also indicated earlier that you reviewed the deposition of Amy Banks, correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, determinations did you make based on her deposition from her
No.
meetings with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard?
I'm joking though. By the
So,
way.
Dr.
It's funny.
Banks is a professor who, at Harvard,
heck?
a leading institution in America for medical schools, who's an expert on intimate partner violence. She had a chance to meet them in relationship counseling.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
That's not non-responsive. I said, what, if anything, did she find?
Sustained.
All right. Tell the jury about Amy Banks, the significance of Amy Banks.
So what Dr. Banks found was that she fully believed Ms. Heard's version of what was going on.
Objection hearsay.
I reversed those. Let me do it again. Please tell the jury.
Sustain the objection.
Please tell the jury what about the qualifications of Dr. Amy Banks. This is the one who saw both Ms.
Oh.
Heard and Mr. Depp.
Dr. Banks is a professor at, I don't know whether it's assistant associate professor at Harvard University Medical School, one, if not one of the two top medical schools in the world, who specialize in intimate partner violence. She is, above all people, who understand if someone is victim, perpetrator, because she does this, researches this for a living every day. And that's her qualifications. Can I say what she reported?
Then I'm going to ask you, what, if anything, did Dr. Banks indicate relating to histrionic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder for Ms. Heard?
Dr. Banks didn't mention anything about personality disorder at all. What she did mention was whom she felt gave a more accurate version of.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
That's a credibility testimony.
I think he can testify to that. Your
I'll
Honor.
sustain the objection. Next question.
What, if anything, did Dr. Banks report, not saying what the ultimate conclusion was, what, if anything, did Dr. Banks say about what was reported to her by Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp and how they responded?
So
Ms. Heard discussed in trying to, again, as a victim, trying to save the relationship, discussed with Dr. Banks these accusations, these facts of intimate partner violence. Mr. Depp.
Objection, hearsay.
I think he's
Hearsay.
entitled to rely on hearsay, and he's not given what ultimately was, he's entitled to it. That's
So
my.
you can rely on hearsay, but you just can't state the hearsay. So you can rely on it.
All right. What, if anything, did Mr. Depp do in response?
Mr. Depp said nothing. When Ms. Heard accused him of intimate partner violence, Mr. Depp said nothing.
And what is the significance
Objection,
of that?
hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right. And what is the significance of that?
The significance of that is with
Objection, no foundation.
Sustain.
Okay. All right,
Dang.
we'll move on. You were asked about MDMA and what the impact could potentially be of taking 8 to 10 of these pills. Do you recall?
yes.
Okay. And now I'm going to take you to
Dang,
Australia
man.
2015. You've reviewed testimony over that, right, from Mr. Depp, Ms. Heard,
Yes.
and a number. Okay. Were you?
Jeez.
Do you recall that Ms. Heard also
Wait, did you
said
sleep?
that she found dime bags of cocaine?
You just stayed up all
in
night
drawers
doing
at
that?
about
Oh my
3 days?
god.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Michelle, can you bring up 1828? It's already in evidence. And if we could publish that, okay, we can, thank you.
My goodness.
I'm going to, this is one of the pictures that was taken in Australia, and the testimony's been that these two canvases of Ms. Heard's were painted completely over. Is that something that could be the impact of having 8 to 10 tablets of MDMA and combining that with cocaine and alcohol?
Objection, no foundation. Speculation.
The foundation's already been laid, Your Honor, that's.
Sustain the
6 a.m.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What, if anything, if you look
You're
at
a
the
monster,
painted
you're a beast.
canvases on this one,
That is a
what, if
grind.
any, evidence is that?
My God.
That reflecting behaviors indicative of taking a lot of MDMA, cocaine, and alcohol?
Objection, speculation, no
It's
foundation.
the same question. Sustained.
You testified earlier about property, destruction of property. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay, could you tell the jury how that relates to the correlating factors of risk factors for IPV?
Again, destruction of property is a form of psychological abuse, psychological mistreatment. And so destruction of property is used as intimidation and as means of control.
Okay. Michelle, can you bring up 1829? And this has already been admitted. Yes, thank you, Your Honor. And what, if any, evidence does this reflect as correlating behavior to risk factors?
This isn't evidence. Come on.
I would say that, one, that demonstrates a good deal of violence and psychological abuse. I think it's pretty clear that they're trying to be intimidating. I don't think.
Objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please continue.
It would be people who would misuse ecstasy without cocaine, are prone to agitation, suspicion, jealousy, violence. What we're seeing there would be very consistent with that presentation.
Thank you. Michelle, can you now bring up 1830?
Oh, yeah.
30, I guess?
Yeah, you can get the gill
And
up.
that's
You
already
can
been
get that
admitted
gill.
into evidence as well, Your Honor. I'd ask that it be published.
Yeah, missions.
And what, if any, evidence does this?
Yeah, that's I can see
correlate
that.
with behavior indicative of IPV perpetration?
Again, this is intimidation, psychological abuse, where you're solely trying to emotionally.
Objection, Your Honor. Can we be heard?
Yeah, just keep going. You'll be able to make lots of gill when you're like when you get the your higher level and everything's settled pretty much, like your classes and whatever. And those the firmament feats, or whatever they're called, the feats, they're just, that stuff's just ridiculous. But yeah. Yeah, it gets pricey. It gets pricey. The gear sets get pricey too. Having to buy the full gear for crafting, I mean. And it's just...
Dr. Spiegel, if you can answer the question,
But you know,
what, if any,
so that's
evidence
the game.
is this
That's the game.
correlating to the risk factors for IPV?
It'll snowball. At some point, it'll snowball.
Again, I think the violence comes through. with service
Objection,
factor.
Your Honor.
Just the
to
evidence
strike.
of risk factors, if you can.
The evidence of risk factor would be accepting a more than average degree of violence, as well as psychological abuse.
Okay. Are you aware of any record evidence of Ms. Heard writing on walls, mirrors, countertops, or painting canvases?
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you, Michelle. You can take that down now.
Interesting.
Now, you were also asked about Seroquel.
She hasn't.
And some of the other
Yes.
prescription medications. Did you, during the course
Yeah.
of your review of evidence, see the lists of medications that Mr. Depp was on at one point?
Yes, I read Metlist.
Michelle, I'm going to ask you to bring up Defendant's Exhibit 301.
Oh, yeah.
And Dr. Spiegel, it's not into evidence yet. I'm going to ask you to take a look at
Yeah, I
this.
remember-
Is
that
this
actually
one
reminds
of the
me
documents that you
I was
had
gonna-
that reflected
I was with the group
the
or
amount
whatever.
of
There's
medication that
I was
Mr.
supposed
Depp
to
was on
do
as of
dungeons.
October
We're supposed to
26,
run dungeons like
2014.
unsynced. So yeah, like that. So we
and
just get tons of loot at the end.
This was an email
for
from
mounts
Deloitte
and stuff
to
like
Dr.
that.
Blaustein, his treating
But
psychiatrist,
yeah,
correct?
we did,
Yes. Okay.
that was a while ago. I never
you
really
tell
got
the
to finish
jury
doing that. But that was
we've got
that's a good plan.
Seroquel, 50
That's a good
mg.
plan.
Can you
Objection,
like it.
hearsay.
Can you just tell the, I haven't finished asking the question yet.
I
So,
do like
That's
that.
approach.
okay.
It's a good plan. This guy, it's interesting. This case is interesting. Let's see what the chat has to say about this one. Let's go live chat. This guy's a fraud? Maybe. Maybe he's a fraud. I don't know. I think he's pushing it a little bit with the evidence or whatever. I don't think this is proof of that, but more hours. Let's
Please go,
see.
just so I can see all of them at the same time. Thank you.
Oh yeah, the drug
So-
test. Yeah.
Dr.
She's trying.
Siegel,
She's trying. She's
if
trying. Yeah.
someone was taking 50 milligrams
Milligrams,
of Seroquel, 25 milligrams of Seroquel, and 50 milligrams
Sequel.
of Seroquel and 50 all in one day, how would that impact them?
So, obviously, this is not for sleep, because I'm presuming you're not wanting to sleep in the morning, noon, and from 4 to 6, although you're sleeping at night. What I would say is he's using it for one purpose, as I say, with substance use disorder. They're using it to calm down. They're using it just as a down and to relax. And given that you're taking 45 milligrams of Adderall a day to stay awake, and that's more than the prescribed for adults and children, for that matter, the combination makes very little sense at all to me.
And if a
Pharmacolo-
person was taking 300 milligrams of Neurontin, I'm going to pronounce that wrong again. 4 times a day and 600 later in the day, how would that impact?
Again,
person.
you're looking at medications that are there solely for a substance use disorder patient to get them up and to calm them down. That's all this regimen is about. Gabapentin
doesn't have a psychiatric indication other than, actually doesn't have a psychiatric indication, although it
This
does
is still
calm
not.
down.
This is still not proving
As I
that
mentioned
Johnny Depp did.
before, similar to Adderall.
I don't know. This doesn't prove. This doesn't really prove
gabapentin
anything.
is also abusable. Cimetidine, Seroquel. is
Unfortunately
also
for them,
abusable.
but,
So you're
you know.
getting these kind of unusually calming effects from these medicines, while at the same time getting what's called a super therapeutic dose or an excessive amount of Adderall. And for the record book, adults are only indicated with Adderall for the extended release, not the immediate release preparation. And why that's relevant is the immediate release preparation is more abusable. You get more high quicker. The extended release goes out throughout the day. The immediate release gets you up right away and then down. Now, in ADHD, this medicine is very effective. But from what this is being used for, clearly based on the combination, no.
How does he know that
All right.
though?
Do addicts lie?
Yes,
All right. Now, you were asked about Mr. Depp passing out. Do you recall reading testimony of Mr. Depp passing out in the bathroom in his vomit?
yes.
Okay. Does that help refresh your recollection of what you
Yes.
recall?
I
All
also,
right.
I mean, for the record book, I don't think that falling asleep
Oh,
with
yeah.
ice cream on you.
Yeah, the
is a-
XP. The
Objection
XP
beyond the
goes.
scope of the question.
Yeah, the XP is gonna go up
Keep going.
like
I don't
crazy.
think taking
But-
Seroquel at night
So is like, you know,
falling
the XP
asleep
gain also
with
goes
ice
up,
cream
which
on
is,
you
you know,
is
it's just
not what Seroquel is
it's not
indicated
too bad, I
for.
don't think.
To
It's
put
not
you
too
out in a
bad.
state where you don't
Really,
stay awake. to put
yeah,
the
it's
ice
going
cream
up like crazy, but it like kind of,
Michelle, if you could
you know,
pull
you know,
up
you know how it is.
Defendants
It just
1090.
we kind of talked about that last time. It kind of
It's already into evidence.
like the XP you gain is also relevant to the level, so you know,
If we can publish that to the jury, Your Honor.
like the
Dr.
dailies,
Spiegel,
like daily,
Does this look like,
you know,
would
daily
this be
duties,
evidence
whatever,
correlating
you know, like
with
whatever you're doing, like it'll give you that
behaviors
boost.
consistent with IPV
kinda-
perpetrator risk factors?
This would be correlated a person.
But it goes
who's
up like crazy. It does. The number gets really big.
Knocked out, and it's
It gets
usually
pretty
only one
crazy.
way someone gets knocked out that badly, and that's with pharmacological assistance, whether it be legal
in the millions,
or illegal.
multi-millions,
They make
man.
it to the bed. They don't sleep with their head on a game box in a furniture. That doesn't happen to people who sleep, no matter how tired you are.
I think this
I've
guy
been a
is.
resident in the past, and
I don't know.
I was up for
I think this is.
40,
I
45
really think this is
Objection
the
beyond
best
the
shot
scope.
they had,
Explain
and I don't.
that.
Sustained.
All right. Michelle,
So
can you
far, I
pull
just don't
up
think. I don't know. I don't think it's
1095,
working, man.
please?
There's some good attempts, but man, no one's buying it.
And I'm going to ask you the same question, Dr.
Hmm.
Spiegel. What, if anything, does this indicate relating to risk factors for IPV?
A picture of Johnny out of
Again,
it.
you know, colloquially passed out, and there's very few ways to get like that without pharmacological assistance,
Okay.
legal or illegal, or illegal.
And then let's pull up 1094, please, Michelle.
That's a pretty damning photo, but it's not
Defense,
bad.
and that's
You know,
also
it's
been
whatever.
admitted?
It's kind of whatever. It's not good. It's not a good one. That's not
And
a good
now
one
we have
either.
the ice cream picture. And what, if any, indication does this have?
Probably could see how I could mistake that.
Objection, speculation, no foundation.
What, if any, correlation, what, if any, evidence does this indicate correlative with the risk factors for IPV purposes?
Again, this proves one of the major risk factors and precipitating factors for intimate partner violence.
Objection,
You are a
move to
Objection.
strike.
All
Move
right,
to strike.
sustained. I'll strike it from the record. Next
I'm gonna
question.
sustain that. Can you sustain it, please? Thank you.
We'll just move on.
Okay.
You were asked about earpieces. Do you recall reviewing Tracy Jacobs and Joel Mandel's depositions?
Yes,
All right. And do you recall them
yeah,
both
yeah, yeah.
testifying that Mr. Depp had someone on salary to feed him his lines?
yes.
Okay. Now, you've testified that you reviewed
How
a
much longer is
substantial
this
amount
thing?
of
I want a
evidence in
game.
this
I want to get
case.
in that game.
Did you find any
Let's check it out.
evidence
Let's
that
see.
Amber Heard exhibited conduct or behaviors indicative or consistent with any of the risk factors for perpetrators of IPV?
Objection beyond the scope.
Sustained.
Well, it was suggested with the borderline personality.
Sustained.
Okay. But you did find that from Mr.
Finishes
Depp,
that.
correct?
No way.
Yes.
No way it does.
And did you find record evidence that Mr. Depp had a substance abuse disorder?
Depp is suing
Severe
his ex-wife for
substance use
$50 million.
Did any of the questions asked by Mr. Depp's counsel change any of your opinions in this case?
Nothing there, no, not, my opinion has not been swayed an iota.
Guys,
Do you
I
hold
swear I
them all
don't use
still
ad
within a
blocker.
reasonable
I
degree
swear.
of medical and psychiatric
No, you caught
probability
me.
or certainty?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I use it. I
All
don't
right.
care. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
sure, you can
Look at all the
have a seat in
ads.
the courtroom, or you're free to go. Thank you. All right, your next witness,
My next witness is Catherine Arnold.
Catherine Arnold.
Why is it suggesting things like that for me? I don't like that stuff. It's because on the other stream we were being goofy. I'm going to do that. Nah, it's clothes. It's a bunch of girl clothes. I don't like that stuff. I don't go on Amazon and learn the clothes. Was it Summer Six Flags
Will you
ads?
please state your name for the record?
All right, whatever.
Catherine Arnold.
There's too many ads, man.
And what is your
Oh,
profession?
welcome back. Welcome back.
I am
An attorney showed images, public appearances.
and I also serve as an expert witness.
I'm just trying to find out how long
And
this
can you
goes,
please
man.
tell the jury your educational background?
How long does this court thing go?
So
It's crazy.
I've been in the entertainment industry for over 20 plus years. I started as
Wow.
an assistant
Oh,
at
Thief.
ICM, which is one of the largest talent agencies in Los Angeles that
Yo.
represents
Is that-
actors, writers, and directors.
that-
And I worked with the
Is that
talent
fun?
agent there. And then I also worked at William Morris, for William Morris as a script reader. So I was
Ooh.
working on scripts that they were delivered and
Thief, huh?
submitted to for their
Nice.
actors, writers, directors. After that, I went into development of film and television projects for a company based in New York called the Maltese Company, which actually produced animated television shows and feature films based on Wall Street, animated product, like toys. And then I went to work with a company called the Goober Peters Company. And Goober Peters was, at the time, one of the largest production companies in Los Angeles. They did films like Batman and Rain Man and Tango and Cash. They did TV shows like Witches of Eastwick. And there I was involved in the development of scripts. We worked with the studio directly in terms of what cast would be attached to the scripts and brought directors and talent to those projects. I then went on to work in, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I went on to
Yeah, I saw it was
work
like $2.99.
in the independent film
That's a
world
pretty good price.
as
That's-
a film producer. So I found the
That's the
material.
kind of price
would
I
get
like
the
to spend on a
financing, I
game.
would get the
It's
cast,
usually, I
the
always wait
director
for sale.
attached to
Everyone
the
waits. I
project.
mean,
We call that packaging.
we
And
always
then
wait
would
for the
go
sales.
and
Let's be
obtain
real.
financing
Let's be
for that,
real.
either through equity sources
sales are the
or
perfect
international
time.
sales and financing and bank financing. And then I also
Us normal
went
folk.
on after that.
Nah.
I produced
The
five or
common
six
man
films
has
with
to
actors that
wait
you
for the
may know,
sale,
including Salma
unless it's a
Hayek,
really big game. You
Vincent
gotta have it now. But
D'Onofrio, Kirstie Alley, Thomas
we
Jane,
gotta.
Ethan Hawke. And then I worked with a international sales and production company where I was the head of production, and I worked again on the development of scripts and the procurement of financing.
Yeah, there's
So I worked in both the
sometimes I'll
independent
buy,
world
you
and
know,
the studio world, meaning independent
sometimes you
finance
can't
or
wait
finance
if you,
by the big
if your
studios
friends are
like
playing or
Warner
something.
Brothers
But,
and Disney and Paramount and such as
but
that.
yeah.
That's
I try my best to wait for those
both
sales
working
to
in
happen.
Did
You know.
any of your films win awards?
A couple of them did. So a couple of the independent
I love
films
that. I actually love that about Steam.
produced,
That's
one
what
of
I
them
years
won,
ago.
called The Coriolis Effect won the
I was just so happy about that.
Venice Film Festival.
That Steam
in its
does that.
category.
It's really one of the
And then
the best things ever.
also
That Steam
produced
has
another
that.
film that won the Heartland Film
It's probably
Festival
what
Award.
part
It's
of what
called the
makes it
Crystal
so
Award.
made it so successful. Honestly.
And what other video production projects have you been involved in?
So throughout that time, in between those jobs, I also worked
just-
in the corporate world. So large studios like
And the
Warner
fact that
Brothers
everything's
and
on it, it's like
Disney
centralizes
and
everything, which
CBS
is great
would
too,
need
but, man.
corporate videos for their live events.
sales are just
so I would
unbeatable.
interview executives and interview their talent, and then edit the piece together to create video and media for their live sales conferences that they had at that time. And then I also produced some commercials
All right. And what, if any, experience did you have in corporate relations and licensing?
So early on in my career, I worked at the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee, and I worked in the licensing department where we handled the licensing of the Olympic logo, and we also worked with sponsors and suppliers who were funding those Olympic Games. So it was a lot of
I always I'm looking forward to, I'm always like,
of the logo.
I get excited. I'm waiting for the,
raising money for the games and working.
of course
with
I don't always
those,
have like,
corporate
money
sponsors
for it,
throughout
but
the 2 years
I still, I'm like kind of
prior to the
waiting
games
for,
and the games themselves.
the summer.
What
I'm waiting for the
experience
summer
do you have
sales or like the
working
winter
with film
sales. I'm like,
festivals?
Well, I've had films in festivals. I've
Man,
actually
I'm
been
just-
very lucky to travel the world and gone to a lot of festivals with my
just,
films.
that's,
here in the
I
United
love it.
States
I love when
and
that goes
elsewhere.
on.
And at
It's
one
so
point, I
fun.
was also hired to raise sponsorship funds for the Sundance Film.
It's candy.
Sundance
It's
Film
candy.
Festival. They had
It's
new
like a
program that they
drug
were,
now. It's not
starting
that. It's
to
not like a
do
drug, but it's
online
like candy, man.
festivals. And
It's,
so I raised about $500,000 for them in about a
ooh,
month.
look at all the games.
All right,
Two,
and
like
do you
$2,
have a
$5,
degree, a college
$10
degree?
for this $40 game.
Yes, I graduated from
Let's
UCLA
go.
with a bachelor's degree in economics.
What does your current consulting practice entail?
So as an entertainment consultant, having been in the business in both the independent and the studio worlds as both a producer and an executive, I work with investment companies and production companies who are looking to navigate the various inroads of Hollywood. It's a pretty, it's a business that's very different and unlike anything else and very relationship based. So I use my 20 years of experience to help them get cast, get financing, understand
really?
the distribution process, marketing process, and get them set up
You like that
to
sci-fi
be able to produce their
space?
films.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you ever testified as an expert witness in the field of entertainment industry?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how many times have you served as an expert?
Yeah, first.
I've been involved in somewhere between 85 and 100 cases as an expert, from beginning stages to testifying in court.
And have you ever testified as an expert on damages and defamation cases?
I think I just started
Yes, I
getting
have.
more into
approximately how
fantasy,
many times
sci-fi.
have
I
you
mean,
qualified as
stuff
an
like
expert on that?
space, futuristic
On
stuff.
defamation?
Because
Yes.
forever,
I believe
like forever, I've been
3 or 4
into.
times. Okay. And
I've been into,
have
like,
you ever
fantasy,
been,
like,
been
like the-
admitted to testify
you know.
as an expert on damages.
Because I started, I played
Yes,
RuneScape
okay,
a long
and how
time
many
ago, so I was like
times
really
have you
into like
qualified as an expert on
magic and
damages?
it's like dragons
Almost all
and
my
blades
cases
and
had some
swords
form of
and all that
damage,
whatever, Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
economic
But
damage related to the case. So I would say in all
I don't
of the
know. It's just the
cases that I've
sci-fi stuff's
testified in,
just
I've been qualified.
really cool. It's just
Okay. Have you ever served as an expert?
You know,
for
there's a lot of
both-
good games
have
out there
you
with
served
that.
as an expert for both plaintiffs and defendants?
I don't know, something cool
Yes, I
cool
have.
about ships though. Something cool
How much
about
of your
like
current practice involves
I don't know,
consulting
space
as
and-
opposed to serving
I
as
don't
an
know.
expert witness?
But yeah, forever. I'm only recently
so over the
kind
last
of
10 or 12
getting
years, it's
into
been
like
about
really
50-50,
like
so I spend
my
half my time working
my
as a
mind is
consultant
like,
and the
yeah,
other half
space,
working with
sci-fi, let's
lawyers on
go.
their cases.
Futuristic. I've really been
I'm going
into
to move to qualify Catherine Arnold
you
as
know,
an expert
or
on entertainment
Skyrim, stuff like
industry
that. I used to be
standards and
really into that
practices
stuff,
and related economic
for a very long time.
damages.
'Cause that's kind of my thing.
All right, so moved.
But
Now,
I get it.
you have a dual role here as an expert, correct?
I get it.
Yes.
Now, you're going to be testifying with respect to Mr. Depp's challenges to, or claims of damages, and you're also going to be testifying to Amber Heard's damages, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to start you with Mr. Depp's claims for damages.
Oh, really?
With
know.
respect to Mr. Depp's claim damages, on what subject have you been asked to offer your opinion?
So I was asked to assess any alleged damages that the op-ed piece in the Washington Post that Ms. Heard wrote, whether that have impacted his
Yeah, I wanna try to
career
get
in
it
any way,
on,
particularly did he lose any income or
I don't know
any
if it's
economic
I don't know
opportunities
if
because of
it's
the op-ed
received
piece
well or people
specifically?
like it, but I'd like to
And
get
have you been asked to
Skyrim
limit
for
that
VR, 'cause I
to
do have a
the
VR
period of
headset,
December
and
18, 2018,
I did not buy it, the VR headset
with
new,
the
okay? I
op-ed
bought it
to
used.
November 2, 2020.
Someone was trying to get rid of it and I bought it
Yes.
Okay.
a long time ago.
Now, what materials did you review?
So otherwise I would
in
never
your
get it,
analysis?
'cause I was just, anyway. I'd like to play
There were a
Skyrim
lot
on
of
VR.
documents.
I don't know if it's good on that or
The
not.
pleadings of the case
Because it might, I don't know.
includes the
I'm not sure.
discovery
I think some of the
items,
reviews people are
the
saying,
responses
it's not worth it, and
to
some people are
what
saying it's awesome.
interrogatories, which are the questions that the lawyers ask
But I'd like
both
to try
sides.
that.
I reviewed Mr. Depp's
I think it'd be kinda cool.
testimony, which there were volumes of that, as well as.
But
Ms.
I
Heard's.
play like
I also
Phasmophobia and
reviewed
stuff
the
on there
deposition
because it's
testimony
like,
of of the
I don't know. It's a little
experts that,
spooky. It's a little
were
spooky.
that had to do with the entertainment industry.
It's more fun in VR to
And the
play
management teams
that
of
scary
both-
game.
Both sides. Ron Schnell, the data expert.
It actually is a little bit
also
creepy. I can't. I
reviewed
kind of. I need other people to play with.
emails
Otherwise,
and
I.
texts between the
It's a little
parties,
much.
between their families, between their management teams, the
It's a little
audio,
much.
recordings,
my heart
visual
can't take
recordings
it.
that have
No,
been
it's
presented in
fine.
this case and the previous cases that have been involved in the last couple of years. I also did my own independent research from general publicity and press and investigative articles, as well as those that are specific to the entertainment
Yeah,
industry.
I wonder if it's good. I mean,
and
it just
utilize
sounds like it'd be
some
cool to be
entertainment industry-specific
immersed in the
sources to get
world
some
and doing
information
that,
was
but-
helpful to my case, to that case.
Yeah, but that's actually a platform
Please
that
describe for the
is also
jury
kind of.
your,
If the sci-fi stuff, if the
observations with
space
respect to Mr.
futuristic
Depp's
stuff is
career
kind of stale right now, I think the VR is a step, also a step behind that because
over many years, so it's
you know,
it's
and not
something
because
to
it's
look
not
at.
good. It's just
Obviously, he was
I don't
a
think enough
rising
people
star
have
in the
VR
late
headsets, you
80s
know,
and
so
the
like there's
90s,
not as
starting
much
with
development,
21 Jump
but
Street, and you've heard,
or it's a
films
slower
that I'm sure
development.
he's
Games
been
are
in.
slower to develop. But
He-
honestly, I would
he really
I'll
started
be
to
honest.
break
I
through when he
talked.
worked with Tim
I
Burton,
was a
the
critic.
director,
Okay,
and
I thought I was
of
like, who
course,
needs a
his character, Jack
VR?
Sparrow,
And then I tried it, and I'm
Pirates of
like,
the
oh my
Caribbean
god,
was,
this is like really fun.
world-renowned.
Actually, it's actually really fun.
His biggest role, and he was
Yeah.
a well-liked.
I wish there was more. I wish it was
critically
cheaper. I want
and,
more people to be able to
within the
get
industry
things cheaper. I would love
and
that.
within the public as a movie star.
Because then if you have more people in it, they make more
and
games
at the
for
same
it, and then more. You know,
time,
anyway, it'd be great. It'd be great.
his behavior and both on and off
Yeah.
the set, in his personal life and in his
I don't know,
professional
man.
life,
But VR's cool.
start to interfere with what we would say, what everybody saw was
Yeah, I haven't
great
played it in a